With the government shutdown going on, TSA has stopped working, and Trump has declared that ICE will be taking its place tomorrow. You've all probably seen the massive lines going on at the airport, just getting through security. People have been getting there at least 2 to 3, even 4 hours early. President Donald Trump is tired of this and has said that he is going to deploy ICE to start working in the airports as soon as tomorrow, March 23rd. Now, this could be big problems for everyone in the United States, considering all the problems that we've had with ICE in our major cities. ICE seems to operate with a different level of authority than most agencies or even police officers have. With all the mounting frustration that's happening in the airline industry lately and all the stress of going to the airport, I can only imagine that people that are very, very untrained in handling other folks and less tolerant are going to cause problems in the airports for most travelers. TSA's main objective was always to keep you safe while flying. However, they may have not done the best job of it or had the best attitude, but you can expect that to dramatically change when ICE takes over because they will be less tolerant, and who knows what other objectives they will have other than to keep you safe while flying. You also have to wonder about the level of training these ICE agents will have. It seems like when they're deploying these people into the streets of the United States, they operate with little to no training, and you have to wonder what kind of training they'll have when going into these airports. President Trump's objective is to streamline things at the airport, make things go more smoothly, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. What do you think?
Breaking news, if you didn't see, Donald Trump has threatened to deploy ICE into airports around the country. He is saying that if by Monday an agreement is not reached and funding is not returned, he's going to deploy ICE to airports around the country. Obviously, namely, this is going to be in Democratic states and places where there have been already pretty serious offenses by ICE in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if O'Hare or Minneapolis had pretty big ICE presences after this. The reason this matters so much is because he has said, and I quote, "Any illegal immigrant will be detained by ICE." The problem is we have millions and millions of tourists every year. What's to stop ICE from going up to quite literally any family who was foreign born and saying that they have plans to reside here illegally and permanently before taking them and deporting them? So if you're traveling from outside of the United States into the US in the next few weeks, I would be on high alert. Have extra documentation and be sure that you have a place that you are going to stay and a return flight book, because you truly never know if you're going to get kidnapped and taken to one of these facilities. And this is not to fearmonger, just to be extra careful. Please spread the word that ICE will be in airports in the next week or two if Trump follows through on this threat. Keep a record of all incidents and interactions with ICE.
Our airports are about to look a lot different. Around 11:30 a.m. this morning, Donald Trump said he was considering sending ICE agents into airports to run airport security because TSA is not being paid and not working. And well, ICE officers are being paid and they are working, but they're pulling them out of cities across the country because they're ending their whole mass deportation thing, even though they're still doing it. Let's be clear about that. They're still knocking on doors. They're just not doing these huge ramp ups, which is why they had to hire so many unqualified people. So now they're taking those unqualified people and they're putting them in a new job doing something that they're also highly unqualified to do, which is to run airport security. So our airports are going to get drastically more unsafe because, according to Donald Trump, 2 hours ago, around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, he posted that, well, because the radical left Democrats are fascists and they're holding the country hostage, that he's going to send ICE to all of the airports on Monday to run airport security. He says he's already told them to do it, to get ready, no more waiting, no more games, that they will be at airports Monday to protect America from Democrats and from criminals that are pouring into our country. Well, the problem is the only people holding the country hostage are Republicans that just started negotiating on Friday.
Breaking news. Donald Trump is threatening to place ICE agents at airports if Congress does not fund TSA. That's fucking insane. Let's break this down. First, we need to understand why Congress won't fund TSA. Spoiler alert, has nothing to do with TSA. Congress is actually arguing about immigration policy. We've entered a partial government shutdown due to these debates in Congress about immigration. So the Department of Homeland Security, if you didn't know, includes both TSA and ICE. So Republicans want to fund the entire Department of Homeland Security as one big package, which would include ICE and border enforcement. Democrats said, "You're out of your rabbit ass mind. We will fund TSA and we will pay those workers, but we're not signing off on ICE funding unless there's some change." They want ICE agents to be required to get judicial warrants before entering people's homes. They want them to have to clearly identify themselves instead of operating masked. They want them to wear body cameras. They want to limit things like racial profiling, random detentions. They are tired of people being stopped for the simple fact that they're Hispanic or that they're speaking Spanish. This isn't a random disagreement. It's a fight over how immigration enforcement is being carried out in this country. This is a huge deal. And because TSA is funded under that same department, they kind of just got caught in the crossfire, you know? So now because of that, TSA agents aren't getting paid. And when people don't get paid, they stop showing up to work. So if you haven't been to the airport recently, there's long lines, delays, major understaffing because TSA workers are either working without pay or not coming in at all. And so because TSA is so understaffed, Trump is basically saying that if Congress does not fund this, he will use ICE agents in airports instead. But this really isn't about practicality now, is it, right? He's pressuring people. This is a pressure tactic. ICE agents aren't even trained to do TSA-style airport screening. And more importantly, having ICE at airports would change what an airport is. TSA is there to check bags and keep flights safe. ICE is there to enforce immigration laws. So if ICE starts operating in airports, that space could shift from just a security checkpoint to an immigration enforcement zone. And think about who's actually in airports, people who are traveling. That includes a huge number of immigrants, people on visas, green card holders, international students, people with dual citizenship. That is literally what airports are for. So now you're putting immigration enforcement directly in a space where a lot of these people already are. And that means that they could be questioned about their status. They could be stopped, even detained, especially immigrants or people who are perceived to be immigrants. And that's where the concern comes in, because now you're not just going through the airport security. You're potentially being subjected to immigration enforcement, which would open the door to things like people being profiled in airports, people being wrongfully detained in airports. And this is supposed to be happening in a place that's just supposed to be about traveling. So yeah, the headline sounds crazy when you break it down. It's really a political standoff over immigration. And TSA workers and everyday travelers are the ones that are going to be dealing with the consequences.
President Trump is threatening to send ICE agents to airports as soon as tomorrow if Congress does not agree to end the partial government shutdown. In a Truth Social post on Saturday, the president told ICE to get ready. He claims they will handle security better than ever. Now, it's unclear what role ICE agents would take on, as they're not trained for airport security screenings. Democrats are slamming the plan as an unconstitutional use of, quote, state police force. The shutdown has caused travel chaos, with security lines stretching for hours in major hubs like Atlanta and Houston. Hundreds of TSA agents have quit. They've gone more than a month now without a full paycheck. A lot of travelers are frustrated with the long lines, but also that the TSA workers are going without pay.
Donald Trump says he's over it. He's sending ICE agents to the airport if the Department of Homeland Security bill don't pass. So in a tweet, he stated, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports, where they will do security like no one ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with a heavy emphasis on those from Somalia, who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports, Trump wrote on Truth Social on Saturday. And he also, this is one of his latest tweets, I look forward to moving ICE in on Monday and have already told them, get ready, no more waiting, no more games. That's what Trump wrote. Now it's like they set this man up to delete two birds with one stone. ICE agents are up there to ensure public safety and deport undocumented immigrants. It's a win-win no matter where he turns, and they're throwing him alley-oops.
Okay, this is where things start getting very real for everyday people. Trump just said he's ready to send ICE agents into U.S. airports starting Monday if Democrats don't agree to a deal to end the DHS shutdown. And his message was pretty clear. Get ready. No more waiting. No more games. Now, here's the thing. We don't actually know what ICE would be doing in airports yet, but Trump said it would include immigration enforcement and security like no one has ever seen before. This is all happening while the Department of Homeland Security has been partially shut down for weeks. And TSA workers, they've already missed paychecks. People are picking up second jobs. calling out, and airport lines are getting worse by the day. So now you've got this situation where instead of resolving the funding fight, there's a threat to bring in ICE. Democrats are saying they'll fund DHS, but only with reforms to ICE. Republicans are saying no deal without full funding. And in the middle of it all, regular travelers just trying to get through security. So yeah, this could get very messy very fast.
And I saw the president just a short while ago this morning posted this saying on Monday, ICE will be going to airports to help our wonderful TSA agents. Is that really the plan? Are we going to see ICE officers manning those airport security checkpoints?
Well, I would say that, one of the leverage points that Iran has is trying to drive up the price of oil. It's leverage. Democrats want to see long lines at airports as leverage. President Trump's trying to take that leverage away and not make the American people suffer. So TSA agents are law enforcement. They know how to pat people down. They know how to run the X-ray machines because they are, again, under Homeland Security with TSA. So if we can bring in other assets and tools to assist TSA to get rid of these lines, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And the president's looking around every corner to make sure the American people don't suffer during the shutdown.
Now, and I understand ICE and TSA are both under DHS, but obviously greatly affect what you're doing at the Department of Transportation, airports. Is there a plan in place? I mean, how many ICE agents are we talking about? Do they have any, practical, experience in manning airport security lines?
Sure. Well, they run those same type of security machines at the southern border, right? Packages come through or people come through. They run similar assets. And again, even if we look at the line there, to manage the through flow of people, and even administratively, they'll be helpful. But again, we have ICE agents who are trained and can provide assistance to agents.
No more games. That is what Trump said on Truth Social after he said that he's going to be sending ICE agents to airports to take over the job of the TSA. This is your nightly news recap, recapping all the news you may have missed today. So let's go ahead and dive in. Trump is getting frustrated that Congress cannot get any kind of funding bill together to get DHS or the Department of Homeland Security somehow pushed through. They recall that under DHS, yes, we have everything from air traffic controllers and TSA agents, but also ICE agents. And Democrats, they want a couple regulations put in place to make sure that ICE agents are following certain rules. And well, at this very moment, Republicans and Democrats still are unable to get anything passed. Democrats earlier had pushed the idea of why don't we go ahead and still pay TSA agents. Republicans said no. We're even seeing some representatives state that why don't we go ahead and separate TSA from DHS. That way we can at least get them funded. And we don't know whether or not that's actually going to work. Trump, who is frustrated about this, did state that he wants to put ICE agents in the positions of TSA agents. That way any of the, whether they be long lines or issues at airports, can be cleared up. With Trump saying, quote, "I look forward to moving ICE in on Monday and have already told them to get ready, no more waiting, no more games." As that's happening in the United States, in Iran today, they shot off an intermediate range ballistic missile. This, that could have a range up to 4,000 kilometers, was aimed at Diego Garcia. That is the island in the Indian Ocean in which the United States and the UK have a joint base at. And so, as Iran shot off those two, luckily, the first one was intercepted by the United States. We don't know where, and the second one failed. And lastly, we finish with Robert Mueller, who died today at the age of 81. You may remember him as the special counsel who led the Russian interference probe tied to the 2016 presidential election. A statement shared with the Associated Press, it stated, "With deep sadness, we're sharing the news that Bob passed away on Friday night and that his family asks for their privacy to be respected." He was diagnosed with Parkinson's back in 2019 and had been suffering since. Trump responded to his death on Truth Social by saying, quote, "Robert Mueller just died. Good, I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people." That is your nightly news recap. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on those stories and more, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
We have breaking news coming in this morning involving TSA and something very interesting. ICE agents will now be helping at TSA lines throughout the country. So if you have a flight scheduled any time in the near future, sorry, that's my dog right there. If you have a flight scheduled any time in the near future, you're going to be seeing TSA agents being helped by ICE agents. Now, what's going to happen is that ICE agents are not going to be screening passengers or using any of the equipment. The administration says that ICE officers, they're going to be doing things like, organizing the line when people go through security. They're going to be doing things just to free up more TSA members in order to get things moving a little faster. There's some people out there that object to this because some people, they don't like, ICE no matter what. But just want to let you know that this is what's going to be happening. The administration announcing this morning. Make sure you're following me right here. I'll bring you updates as I learn more. Thanks, everybody.
Some long lines at airports around the country because of the partial government shutdown, and TSA agents aren't getting paid. So a lot of them have been calling out sick. President Trump says he might send in ICE agents to help out starting tomorrow morning. What do you think?
So you're probably seeing that airport TSA lines are imploding right now. 1 hour wait times, 2 hour wait times, 30 to 50% of TSA staff not showing up to some airports to work. And the reason that you're seeing that is because Republicans want to ensure that ICE agents can continue to wear masks, that ICE agents do not have to wear body cameras, and that ICE agents do not require warrants when they invade personal spaces. Genuinely, what's happening is there's a partial government shutdown, but that government shutdown is only related to DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, which ICE falls under. The reason that there is that shutdown is because there is a budget negotiation and a budget fight. And within that budget fight, Democrats are simply saying, can we just ensure that ICE agents can't wear masks, that ICE agents are required to wear body cam footage, and that ICE agents are required to have warrants if they invade somebody's personal privacy or property. Now, many of us would say that doesn't go far enough. We need to abolish ICE. We need much more stricter policy and regulations around ICE. So these are just the bare minimum asks. Can we just see their faces? Can they just have body cameras? Just make sure they have a fucking warrant before they enter your home or smash the window of your car. And Republicans are saying, no, we're not going to allow that. And we're going to fight these things so hard that we're going to shut down the fucking airports for it. Just want to make sure you understand what's going on.
Taco's latest threat is to bring ICE to service TSA in the airports. He says if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia. Illegal immigrants aren't showing up at the airport with a boarding pass and their passport. I mean, I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports.
Breaking news. Donald Trump just suggested that he may surge ICE agents into airports across America to assist with security during this government shutdown that has TSA workers unpaid, and ICE agents will specifically target immigrants and especially Somali Americans. Take a look at this. Again, don't take my word for it. This is directly from the president. He says, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports. Name a faster way to completely destroy the airline industry, because nobody wants to go to an airport with his masked Gestapo agents running security. And by the way, I'm pretty sure there is actually a faster way to destroy the airlines industry. How about the fact that United Airlines CEO just said that they are accounting for oil barrels to remain at $175 per barrel until late 2027 at the earliest, where they may go back down to pre-Iran war prices.
There are many things that are deeply troubling about Donald Trump, but one of the things that I find most troubling is the fact that he continues to threaten his own people. I don't think it's cool to threaten other countries and allies either, but let's take a look at his most recent Truth Social post today. Truly, I'm disgusted by this. If the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports, where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action in our airports. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. Well, Donnie, America's never going to be great, period, with you in charge. Because do you see yourself threatening your own constituents, your own citizens, and throwing people under the bus, dragging people through their name, and threatening immigrants with ICE? What the hell is wrong with you? They have been murdering people. They have been violently detaining people. Donald Trump does not respect the Constitution. He does not respect this country. He does not respect people in general. This is insanity. What a disgusting excuse for a president. This is just bone-chillingly egregious behavior from a sitting president. He does not care about you, or me, or anyone but himself. To threaten people with ICE agents after what has happened in this country from ICE, it's just gross.
President Trump said we could see ICE agents working at airports across the country as early as tomorrow.
This comes as TSA officers who operate security checkpoints at airports are not paid, which has led to call-outs. And at this point, more than 400 officers have quit since the partial government shutdown began in mid-February. President Trump said that he's already told ICE agents to, quote, get ready, end quote. The president also said that their duties would include working at security checkpoints as well as arresting anyone who is in the United States illegally. Airport officials here in Philadelphia told us to reach out to DHS regarding any ICE agents here at PHL, but these changes could come within the next 24 hours.
Trump has now made a wild threat to send ICE to manage security at airports across the country. Trump posted on Truth Social this announcement saying if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before. Not sure what that means. Including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia, who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE action at our airports. Make America great again. Guys, this is truly off-the-rails bonkers shit. The only thing that's going to get TSA workers paid and back on the job is for Congress to fund DHS. They have to pass legislation to do this. Trump doesn't seem to understand this. You can't just make an agreement. It has to be legislation. Americans want reforms to ICE. It's simple. It's straightforward. Now, Trump's threatening to send poorly trained ICE agents into our airports to manage security. That sounds like just a total, utter disaster. And we know how this will go if he moves to do this. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
Starting Monday, ICE could be at airports across the United States, and this could affect how immigrants travel. Right now, there's a government shutdown affecting airport security, and the president is threatening to send ICE agents into airports, potentially to help with security and arrest undocumented immigrants. Here's what you need to understand. Airports are already federal zones. Immigration enforcement can happen there, and your information may already be shared with immigration authorities when you fly. Who should be careful? If you are undocumented, have a removal order, have a pending immigration case, you need to be very careful before traveling, even domestically. But here's the truth. You do not need legal status to fly domestically. However, the risk today is not TSA, it's immigration enforcement. If you're unsure whether it's safe for you to travel, talk to an immigration lawyer before you book that flight.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.